A message only Capricorn will understand. There's a reason your sleep has been restless lately. There's a reason you keep sensing a shift, though nothing around you has changed. And there's a reason you're watching this right now, at this exact moment in your life. Hello, my beloved Capricorn. This is not a coincidence. This is a calling. The universe has aligned its whispers with your heartbeat. And something sacred, something irreversible, is already in motion around you. A departure is coming. But not just any departure, not something you can simply name, or plan for, or predict. This is a sacred departure, a soul-level shift that will touch the very core of who you are. You may not know it yet. But what's about to leave your life, or who, is not punishment, it's permission. Permission for you to rise into your true, unshakable, untouchable power. Power that has been dormant inside of you for years, waiting for this exact moment of release. And I know what you're thinking. Why does it have to hurt first? Why do I feel like something is breaking, even if I can't see it yet? Because Capricorn, your transformation has never come quietly. It comes through tension, through silence, through moments that only the strongest souls, like you, can carry. In the next few moments, you will understand who is leaving, and why, what the universe is opening up within you, and how this hidden pain is actually the doorway to your higher destiny. But I warn you, this isn't a message for the faint of heart. This is for the Capricorn who is ready to stop surviving, and finally start rising. So breathe in, still your heart, and stay with me until the very end. Because when this sacred departure finishes its work, you will never walk the same path again. Part 1. The sacred departure, who is leaving, and why their energy stays with you. Capricorn. Some departures are loud. Some are sudden. But this one is different. It's quiet. Mysterious. It arrives like a whisper in the night, barely seen, but deeply felt. You've sensed it, haven't you? The subtle absence. The emotional distance. The feeling that someone or something is slowly slipping through your fingers. Maybe it's a person you once leaned on, someone who grounded you. Maybe it's a role you used to play in life that no longer feels like you. Maybe it's a part of yourself that used to feel safe, but now feels like a prison. This is not destruction. This is preparation. A sacred farewell is unfolding in your life, not to leave you broken, but to make space for the strongest, most radiant version of you to emerge. The one who doesn't just endure, but leads. The one who doesn't just rebuild, but redefines what strength looks like. Because here's what no one talks about. When someone leaves, their energy doesn't always leave with them. Sometimes, their spirit stays embedded in your intuition, coded in your memories, infused in your decisions. They become part of your compass. What leaves the physical plane doesn't vanish. It transforms. And so will you. The pain you feel is not weakness. It's initiation. This departure isn't just a goodbye. It's a baton pass. The universe is saying, you're the one now. You carry the light. You carry the wisdom. So yes, cry if you must. Feel every ache of the absence. But know this. You are not being abandoned. You are being anointed. This moment, this sacred transition, is the unlocking of something ancient inside you. Life lesson, from departure to destiny. Not all loss is punishment. Sometimes, it's the final lesson that shows you who you were born to become. Capricorn, you are not meant to be unchanged, you are meant to be unbreakable through change. Let what leaves, leave. So that what is waiting, can finally rise. Part 2. The metamorphosis, your inner transformation begins now. Capricorn. Change doesn't always knock on the door. Sometimes, it slips in silently, like a chill in the air. A conversation that ends differently. A moment of stillness that feels heavier than usual. A sense that you're not the same person you were just days ago, and yet, you can't quite name what's shifting. But you feel it, don't you? Your inner compass is spinning. The familiar patterns are crumbling. And deep within, a voice you haven't heard in years is starting to speak. You're not breaking. You're remembering. This, Capricorn, is your metamorphosis. It's not loud, but it's unstoppable. It's not violent, but it will strip you bare. For so long, you've been holding yourself together for the world, for your family, for your community, for everyone who leaned on you like you were born to carry their storms. And in a way, maybe you were. But now, the universe is no longer asking you to carry them. It's asking you to finally carry yourself. What is breaking is the version of you that was never fully you. The part that kept quiet to keep the peace. The part that chose duty over desire. The part that survived on control instead of connection. Let it fall, Capricorn. The world taught you that being strong meant being silent. But true strength, it means feeling deeply and still standing tall. Your transformation isn't just emotional. It's energetic. Your body is remembering ancient wisdom. Your spirit is recalibrating to a higher frequency. You are literally becoming a new vibration. Have you noticed it? The sudden wave of emotion when you hear a certain song. The dream that felt more real than your waking life. The sense that someone is with you even when you're alone. These aren't accidents. They are spiritual echoes. Reminders that you are entering a phase where logic won't always explain what's happening, but your soul will recognize every piece of it. You are becoming the bridge between the seen and unseen, between the practical and the powerful, between who you were told to be and who you were born to become. Imagine this. A massive mountain range sits in silence for centuries, but deep beneath its foundation, pressure builds. Rocks shift, plates grind. Not in chaos, but in purpose. And one day, with a thunder that shakes the stars, a new peak is born. Majestic, towering, inevitable. That mountain is you. Capricorn, your inner plates are moving. The pressure you feel isn't punishment, it's birth. Birth of power, birth of identity, birth of clarity so sharp, it will cut through every lie you've ever believed about yourself. Let the shift happen. Let the tears come. Let the confusion swirl. Because you are not breaking. You are becoming volcanic, raw, unstoppable, beautiful. And when this phase completes, the world will no longer recognize you. Not because you changed, but because you finally came home to yourself. Life lesson, letting go to level up. Capricorn, transformation isn't polite, it's primal. And the part of you that's dissolving isn't your strength, it's your shell. Trust that whatever is being stripped away was never meant to stay. Because what's rising now in its place is your truth, unfiltered and undeniable. Part 3. The awakening of ancient intuition, why you're starting to sense what others cannot. Capricorn. Something strange has been happening lately, hasn't it? You've started noticing things. Moments you used to overlook now seem to whisper to you. Numbers that repeat. Dreams that feel more like messages than stories. People saying things that echo something you were already thinking moments before they spoke. It's not coincidence. It's not imagination. It's awakening. For most of your life, you've trusted logic. You've moved through the world with your feet on the ground, your hands on your goals, your mind sharp and alert. You've been the practical one. The builder, the door. And that's what made you strong. But now, something deeper is stirring, not in your mind, but in your gut, in your spirit. It's your ancient intuition. The part of you that has always known, before knowing was logical. The part of you that doesn't need evidence, only silence. The part of you that guided your ancestors through darkness, through storms, through the unknown. It's returning now, because it's time. Time for you to stop living from the neck up, and begin listening from the soul down. You were never meant to live only in your head. You were meant to feel the frequencies beneath the surface of this world. To sense what others miss. To see through masks, to hear the words not spoken, to know who is safe and who is silently praying for your downfall. This isn't paranoia. It's clarity. Your intuition is becoming sharp. Almost too sharp for comfort. You walk into a room now and feel the truth before anyone speaks. You touch an object and sense the memory it carries. You think of someone, and they message you within minutes. You are tuning in, not out. And what you're picking up on is very, very real. The sacred departure you are experiencing, whether it is the loss of a person, a phase, or a piece of yourself, has opened a portal inside you. An inner gateway. A clearing of static. What once felt clogged with noise and confusion now feels clear, quiet, precise. And in that clarity, the messages come. Not as booming voices, not as burning bushes, but as quiet, intuitive nudges that feel like truth, deep, soft, and undeniable. Pay attention to them. They are not random. They are not wishful thinking. They are transmissions coming directly from your soul's higher intelligence and from the spirit that now walks beside you. This is part of your inheritance. That person or energy that left your life. They didn't just depart, they transferred something into you. A key, a compass, a strand of insight that is now embedded in your own awareness. And now you feel things you've never felt before, because you're carrying more than just your own consciousness. You're carrying part of their legacy. This new sense, this intuition, may not always make sense to others. They may dismiss it. They may call it overthinking or being too sensitive. But you must remember, you're not here to be understood by the masses. You're here to understand yourself more deeply than ever before. Capricorn, your gift isn't just discipline. It's perception. You've been so grounded for so long, the universe is now handing you something from above. A frequency, a rhythm, a whisper that only a few can hear. And you're one of them. You've earned this ability through silence, through stillness, through soul-level grief. And now you must protect it. How? By trusting it. By not talking yourself out of what you know to be true. By letting the guidance you feel inside you become just as real as any advice you'd get from the outside world. The most powerful people on earth don't speak the most, they listen the deepest. And right now, the universe is speaking directly to you. What is it saying? It's saying this. You are not alone. You never have been. You are surrounded. You are guided. You are awakening. Listen. Life lesson. Your greatest wisdom comes in silence. Capricorn, your intuition is not a distraction, it's your inheritance. And the more you honor it, the more it will speak. When logic fails you, and when the world gets too loud, close your eyes and drop into the quiet center of your being. Because your next chapter won't be built with noise, it will be built by listening to what no one else can hear. Part 4. The Sacred Tears, Why Your Emotions Are the Keys to Inner Strength. Capricorn. You've been strong for so long, haven't you? You've carried burdens others couldn't name. You've walked through storms with your head held high, even when your knees were trembling. You've made survival look graceful. You've made silence feel noble. But let me ask you something, when was the last time you truly let yourself fall apart? When was the last time you allowed the weight you carry to crack you open? Capricorn, you've been conditioned to believe that crying is weakness. That emotion is a distraction. That the moment you let go, everything you've built will come crashing down. But here is the sacred truth. Your emotions are not a threat to your strength. They are the very source of it. There is a reason the universe is allowing this moment, this departure, this transformation, this raw season of grief to rise now. It's not just to break you. It's to purify you. The tears that come when no one is watching, they are sacred. They are not a loss of control, they are a reclaiming of your humanity. You see, strength is not about how much you can suppress. True strength is about how much you can feel, and still rise. Right now, your heart is being invited to soften. Not to make you fragile, but to make you real. Because Capricorn, you are not a statue. You are not made of stone. You are a soul having a human experience. And in this chapter, your tears are the medicine. They are not signs that you're falling behind. They are signs that you're healing at a depth most will never understand. Grief, in its truest form, is a cleanser. It doesn't just remove pain, it clears space. Space for wisdom. Space for compassion. Space for a kind of knowing that only comes from having walked through the fire and made it out whole. Your sacred tears are like a river that carries away what no longer belongs. The guilt. The regret. The questions that have no answers. They create room for something greater. Inner peace. And once that peace takes root, something incredible begins to happen. You become unshakable. Not because you never feel, but because you've learned that feeling is not the enemy. Denial is. The universe knows exactly how powerful you are, Capricorn. But what it's trying to show you now is that your power does not come from control. It comes from trust. Trusting the process. Trusting yourself. Trusting that even when you're in pieces, the deeper part of you remains intact, untouched, eternal. So cry. Not because you're broken, but because you're brave enough to let your soul speak through water. Let the tears cleanse the grief. Let the emotion rise and pass like a sacred storm. You are not unraveling. You are shedding what no longer belongs to the version of you that is emerging. And when it passes, when the tears dry, you'll find that you haven't been emptied. You've been refilled. With truth. With light. With clarity. Others may fear their emotions. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you know, your tears are not weakness. They are sacred signals. They're proof that your heart still beats honestly, that your soul still feels, that you are alive in the most courageous way possible. Let them come. Life lesson. Your tears are not a failure, they are a form of freedom. Capricorn, you were never meant to be emotionally numb. You were meant to feel deeply, heal fully, and lead from a place of truth. When you allow your heart to open, even in pain, you unlock a version of yourself that cannot be broken. Your strength was never in the silence. It was always in the sacred release. Part 5. The Signs and Synchronicities, How the Universe is Speaking to You. Capricorn. The universe doesn't speak in paragraphs. It speaks in symbols. It sends whispers disguised as patterns. Echoes dressed as coincidences. And lately, you've started to notice. Maybe it was a number that kept repeating on the clock, on a receipt, in a dream. Maybe it was a song that came on at the exact moment your thoughts felt too heavy. Maybe someone said a sentence that felt like it was meant only for you, though they didn't know why. These are not accidents. These are messages. You see, when the universe wants to reach you, especially in moments of transformation, it doesn't scream. It aligns. It aligns time. It aligns events. It aligns energy. And when you're quiet enough, still enough, broken open enough, you begin to receive. Right now, the universe is in conversation with you. And it's speaking through your world. Pay attention. That bird that keeps returning to your window. That dream that shows the same symbol, night after night. That stranger whose words hit you like lightning to the soul. They're not random. They're codes. And Capricorn, because of what you've been through, because of the sacred departure you're walking through, your channel is wide open. Your grief opened the signal. Your tears cleared the static. Your silence became a doorway. And now, you're receiving transmissions from the divine. You may not be able to explain them, not with logic. But your body knows. Your heart understands. That sudden chill down your spine. That sense of being watched, but in a protective way. That inner voice saying don't go there, or call them now, or pay attention. Those are sacred instructions. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining divine sensitivity. This is the gift of the transition you're in. The old you would have ignored the signs. The new you is finally ready to listen. Some signs will come in the physical world. Some will arrive in dreams. Others will appear as repeating emotional themes, fears, desires, questions that cycle through your heart like a song stuck on loop. When something repeats, it's not coincidence. It's calibration. The universe is aligning you with a new path. And because it knows you're practical, it's using symbols that bypass your intellect and go straight to your soul. Think of these signs as breadcrumbs. Each one leads you closer to the truth that's waiting just beyond your current horizon. Don't rush to interpret everything. Sometimes the signs aren't answers. They're invitations. Invitations to slow down. To reflect. To ask, what's really being shown here? Capricorn, you are entering a phase of life where your connection to the invisible will be just as real as your grip on the visible. You've mastered the material. Now you're being initiated into the mystical. You are walking in two worlds. And the universe is teaching you how to navigate both. So take note. Write the dreams down. Follow the feeling, even when it doesn't make sense. Honor the timing of what falls apart and what comes together, because that timing is never random. It's written. Everything that's been happening in your world is part of a sacred map, a divine cartography. And even if the map feels upside down right now, it is guiding you. Your only job: stay awake, stay present, stay receptive. The signs are everywhere. The guidance is constant. And more importantly, you're not just being led. You're being prepared. Prepared for a mission. Prepared to take your intuition and strength and use it, not just for yourself, but for others. Prepared to step into a role that requires divine awareness. So next time you notice that number repeating, next time that song comes on with the exact words you needed to hear, next time you feel like you're not alone, even in the quiet, don't brush it off. Whisper back, "I'm listening." Because you are. And the universe is listening to you, too. Life lesson: the universe doesn't shout, it whispers to those who are willing to hear. Capricorn, your logical mind has served you well. But now, it's time to trust the part of you that doesn't need evidence, just resonance. The more you pay attention to the invisible threads, the more guided your visible path will become. You are not imagining the signs. You were born to interpret them. And right now, they are leading you straight into your next becoming. Part 6. Your new destiny, becoming the light for others. Capricorn. All of this, the goodbye, the grief, the cracking open, it wasn't just about what's ending. It's about what's beginning. You didn't come here just to endure. You came here to guide. To be a light, not because you sought attention, but because your soul survived enough darkness to know the way out. And now, without even trying, you are becoming what others need. A grounded presence. A quiet example. A mirror of resilience. Capricorn, your new destiny isn't loud. It doesn't come with applause or fanfare. It comes quietly, like you. Through integrity. Through action. Through the energy you carry just by walking into a room. You don't have to teach. You don't have to speak. You simply have to be. Be steady. Be honest. Be present. Because people will feel it. Even if they can't explain why, they'll sense the strength in your silence. They'll feel safer in your presence. And they'll begin to believe in themselves simply because they see you standing tall, despite what tried to break you. This is the true mark of a Capricorn in transformation. You stop carrying the world, and start becoming the axis it quietly turns around. Your pain has been refined into wisdom. Your disappointments have been forged into discernment. And your heartbreak has become a map, one that shows others where healing lives. You are no longer just a participant in this world. You're a stabilizer, a guidepost, a reminder that real strength is found in those who don't abandon themselves even when everyone else does. This doesn't mean you won't still feel lonely at times. It doesn't mean the road ahead will be easy. But it means you're not wandering anymore. You're walking with purpose. Your presence now holds a frequency that reshapes every space you enter. Without trying, you bring order to chaos, calm to conflict, depth to distraction. And you may wonder, why me? Why did I have to lose so much, feel so much, break so quietly just to arrive here? Because Capricorn, you were meant to be unshakable, not untouchable, not invincible, but rooted, deeply, spiritually, unforgettably. Others can only speak of healing. You embody it. Others may preach about strength. You live it every time you get back up, every time you choose clarity over fear, truth over comfort, solitude over shallow praise. This is not an ego-driven destiny. This is a soul calling. It won't always make sense to others. But to those who are meant to find you, your energy will feel like home. So don't be surprised if people begin to open up to you without knowing why. If strangers cry in your presence. If others seek your advice even when you haven't said a word. It's because they feel it. The light. The anchoring. The transformation you earned the hard way. You don't have to try to help. Your presence does the work. You've become the lighthouse. And lighthouses don't chase ships. They simply stand where they are, shining in every direction, through every storm, unwavering. You are now stepping into that role. Not because you wanted it, but because you were forged for it. And in doing so, you give others permission to heal, to be honest, to soften, to find their own way home. Your story may never be fully understood, but your impact will be undeniable. Capricorn, you've crossed a threshold. You're no longer defined by what you've lost. You're defined by what you now carry, and what you carry is light. Life lesson: you don't need to be a leader to be a light. Capricorn, your destiny isn't found in commanding others, it's revealed in your quiet presence, your consistency, your integrity. The strength you've cultivated through grief and rebirth is now the energy that stabilizes those around you. You are becoming a guide not by choice, but by nature. Because your light no longer flickers. It burns steady, like truth. Part 7. The battle in the unseen, divine protection over you. Capricorn, you've always been strong in the physical world. You've built your life with structure, boundaries, goals, and grit. But now, as your intuition sharpens and your presence grows brighter, you're beginning to feel it. The invisible friction. The subtle resistance. The sense that something unseen is watching and reacting to your growth. Because as your light expands, so does the shadow it casts. And not everyone, not every force, celebrates who you're becoming. But hear this clearly. You are protected. Not in theory, not metaphorically, but energetically, spiritually, completely in ways that surpass logic and explanation. There are battles happening around you that you do not see. Whispers, doubts, and projections that have tried to latch onto your energy, but have failed. Not because you've been untouched, but because you've been shielded. The universe has assigned guardians to your soul. Ancient protectors. Divine allies. Call them what you will. Angels. Guides. Forces of light. Even ancestors who have crossed over but never truly left. They are standing guard. They are the reason why, even at your lowest, something always pulls you back. They are why you've survived storms that should have swallowed you whole. They are why no matter how alone you've felt, you were never truly abandoned. And right now, as your sacred transformation accelerates, the protection around you is growing stronger because your energy is becoming more visible in spiritual realms. The brighter your light, the more the shadows take notice. But you must not fear this, because the universe has already calculated the cost of your evolution. And it has already paid the debt on your behalf. What does that mean? It means that the negativity some may try to send your way through jealousy, resentment, gossip, manipulation. It cannot stick. Your frequency is too high. Your vibration too stable. Your mission too protected. You may feel the tension of those energies brushing against your field, but they cannot penetrate. Not anymore. That old version of you might have absorbed those wounds. But this version is spiritually armored. And not because you're fighting anyone, but because the truth defends itself. You don't need to explain your growth. You don't need to justify your journey. You don't even need to respond to the subtle attempts to provoke or undermine you. Because your elevation is your defense. Capricorn, your silence has become a weapon. Your peace has become your protection. And the more grounded you remain, the more chaotic their confusion becomes. This is spiritual warfare, but not the kind that's fought with conflict. It's fought with clarity. You've entered a phase where the only battle left is the one to stay centered. So let them whisper. Let them question. Let them throw stones at a version of you that no longer exists. You're not here to battle their projections. You're here to walk your path. And that path has been cleared not by your hand, but by unseen forces working around the clock to ensure you reach your destination. You are not fragile. You are fortified. Even in moments where you feel vulnerable, know this. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's trust in your protection. It's knowing that you don't need to strike back, because life will always reveal the truth in time. And when it does, you'll still be standing. Stronger. Clearer. Untouched. There may still be moments when you feel heavy for no reason. Suddenly tired, drained, uneasy, without knowing why. That's okay. That's not you breaking down, that's your spirit filtering energy that doesn't belong. Breathe. Pray. Cleanse. Release. Then stand up again, taller than before. Because the battle is already being won, and you are being kept safe. Life lesson: the strongest lights need the strongest shields. Capricorn, as your frequency rises, you will outgrow not just people, but energies. And as you walk deeper into your purpose, not everyone will celebrate it. But you were never meant to defend your light, only to protect your peace. Let your stillness speak louder than their shadows. You are not alone in this. You are guarded, grounded, and guided always. Part 8. The Eternal Alliance: Why the Energy That Left Still Walks Beside You. Capricorn. Some goodbyes don't end a story. They begin a deeper chapter, one that's written in spirit, not in time. And what you're experiencing now, it's not a severing. It's a merging. A merging of energies. A transformation of presence. A continuation of love in a higher, quieter, and far more eternal form. Because here's what most never understand. When a soul leaves the physical, it doesn't vanish. It expands. It multiplies. It integrates into the lives of those it touched and never truly leaves. Right now, someone or something may have departed from your life. Maybe it was a person who passed. Maybe it was a mentor, a guide, or a deep relationship that quietly faded. Maybe it was a version of you, a way you once identified, a role you once played. Whatever it was, it left space. But that space isn't empty. It's sacred. Because the energy that has exited your life has now become woven into your essence. You carry them now. Not in memory, but in motion. Not as a photograph, but as a frequency. They are the reason your intuition has grown louder. The reason your dreams feel more vivid. The reason you sometimes feel watched, not in fear, but in comfort. Like someone is gently holding your back, even when you face the unknown alone. That's because they are. The soul that has left is not gone. They have become an eternal alliance in your journey. A co-pilot. A quiet whisper. A force that speaks not in words, but in timing, in instincts, in flashes of knowing that come without logic. You might have felt it already. That moment when you almost made the wrong decision, but something pulled you back. That day when you needed strength, and found it in a way you couldn't explain. That silent moment when you felt surrounded by warmth, even though no one was there. It's real. And it's not your imagination. It's your connection. Because Capricorn, when the universe asked you to endure this sacred departure, it was not to leave you emptier. It was to fill you with a bond that transcends the physical, that deepens your resilience, and strengthens your spiritual authority. You are no longer walking with just your own wisdom. You are walking with the combined knowing of every soul who has shaped you, loved you, or challenged you into growth. You are not just you anymore. You are a constellation, every light you've lost, now glowing within you. And because of that, you can never truly be alone again. There will be moments when you miss them. Miss what was. Miss who you used to be with them. Miss the sound of their voice or the presence that kept you steady. That's natural. But the truth is, they haven't left. They've simply changed form. They no longer walk beside you in the way they once did. But now, they walk within you as insight, as courage, as peace. And this alliance is permanent. Not just for this chapter, but for every chapter that follows. For every rise and fall. For every choice you make that brings you closer to the person you were born to become. They will be there, not as a shadow, but as a guide. They will appear in synchronicities, in thoughts that feel like they're not fully yours, in sudden clarity during chaos, in the subtle shift in your heart when you know something greater is holding you steady. Let that presence be your strength now. You no longer need to ask, why did they leave? Instead, ask, what part of them now lives inside me and how do I honor it? Because honoring their memory is not about mourning. It's about embodiment. It's about stepping forward with their love, their lessons, their energy woven into your every breath. It's about becoming a living continuation of what they stood for. And Capricorn, you were chosen for that. Because you don't just remember. You build from remembrance. You don't just survive endings. You alchemize them into beginnings. You are a vessel now for legacy, for light, for love that cannot be destroyed by time, distance, or death. And no matter what comes next, you carry more than your own strength. You carry a sacred alliance that will never abandon you. Life lesson: the ones who leave us never truly leave us. Capricorn, when a soul departs, they don't disappear, they dissolve into our being. Their voice becomes part of our intuition. Their love becomes part of our courage. And their energy becomes part of the legacy we carry forward. You are not mourning an end. You are embodying a continuation, and you are never, ever walking alone again. Conclusion: you were never meant to stay the same, this was your awakening. Capricorn, take a breath. Not the kind you take out of habit, but the kind that reaches all the way into your chest. The kind that says, I made it through. You've journeyed through a sacred departure. One that broke something open in you, not to destroy, but to awaken. You've cried, reflected, and confronted truths others run from. You've felt the weight of invisible losses, and yet you kept walking. You didn't just survive this chapter. You transformed because of it. And now, something profound has changed within you. You are no longer the same Capricorn who began this journey. You are wiser, clearer, stronger in ways that can't be seen with the eyes, only felt in your presence. You are no longer afraid of endings, because now you understand. Every ending is a reintroduction to your real self. You've reconnected with your intuition. You've seen the signs, felt the whispers, heard the soul of the universe speaking through silence. You've learned to listen, not just to words, but to energy. And that makes you dangerous to fear, but sacred to truth. You've come to trust your emotions, not suppress them. To honor your tears, not apologize for them. To protect your peace, not explain your boundaries. You've realized that your strength isn't in how much you carry for others, but in how deeply you stand in your own knowing, even when no one understands you. You've learned that presence is power, that silence can be louder than reaction, that stillness is a skill forged in the fire of transformation. And most importantly, you've discovered that the person or version of yourself that left was never meant to stay, because their departure was the key, the moment that unlocked your next evolution. You've stepped into the era of embodiment now, no longer just thinking about your purpose, you're living it. No longer hoping someone will see your worth, you're becoming undeniable. Capricorn, what left was sacred, but what's risen in its place is unstoppable. Because now, you carry something deeper. A quiet clarity, a rooted resolve, a light that doesn't flicker when the wind blows, it intensifies. The universe doesn't put its strongest souls on the easiest paths. It puts them through sacred fire, so that when they emerge, the world knows it's witnessing something rare. You are that rare soul. And from this day forward, let everything you do carry the wisdom you've earned. Speak less, but mean more. Move slower, but with direction. Love deeper, but only where love is truly returned. And above all, trust what you feel more than what you're told. Your spirit knows things the world hasn't caught up to yet. You are the mountain now. You've risen through storms, earthquakes, and long, silent winters. And still you rise. Not in noise, not in demand, but in quiet, undeniable presence. Capricorn, if no one has told you this yet, let me be the first. I'm proud of you. Not because you've held it together, but because you had the courage to fall apart and rebuild, honestly. Because you chose depth over distraction. Because you chose healing over hiding. This is your new beginning. Not in theory, but in embodiment. You are not waiting anymore. You are becoming. And it's beautiful to witness. Life lesson: the truest power isn't loud, it's undeniable. Capricorn, you don't need to convince anyone of who you are now. Your journey speaks louder than words. Your evolution is your evidence. And your quiet strength will reach places noise never could. Let them wonder what changed. Let them feel your growth. You owe no one an explanation, only yourself the freedom to rise. Call to action. If this message touched something deep in you, if you saw yourself in these words, if you feel that the universe is calling you into your next chapter, then don't keep it inside. Write it below. Say it out loud. I accept the transformation the universe has for me. Let that be your commitment. Let that be your first step forward into the life you were always meant to live. And if you know you're not done growing, if you want to keep unlocking the secrets of your Capricorn soul, then subscribe to this channel, Zodiac Secrets Revealed. Because this isn't just astrology. This is your mirror, your medicine, your map back to yourself. Until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and remember, you are not being tested. You are being trusted. And you were always meant to rise.